And the history of the journey of this country is going to be written by whether or not what you're about to perform.
Yes, Mr. Zaid Hamid, as you heard Joe Biden saying the war strategy of the 21st century, and he just explained simple steps. Number one, to create chaos in the country, to make them a failed state. Third, let terrorists get access to their main prime. Fourth, to take over after all this. So who is behind all this?
This is exactly what we've been telling you. Joe Biden made it very simple for us. They create chaos. In every country, they want to dismantle. And to create chaos, they also use the word black ops, black operations. Operations supporting insurgent groups, supporting Joint Special Operations Command, supporting TTP, supporting BLA, supporting militant terrorists with the political parties, creating Boko Haram, creating IS of Iraq, creating the army. This is called black ops, creating chaos. And once the chaos is created, you create a failed state out of it. And once the failed state is created, and you create a perception that Pakistan's nuclear weapon to fall into the hands of the terrorists. And then you move in to secure the country.
Mr. Zaid Hamid, we are seeing states getting failed around us, like in Iraq, the second capital city has been taken over. Syria is in front of you. Now, as Pakistan, we saw these attacks happening. What should be done? We do owe responsibility to these chaotic conditions at our security forces, on ourselves first.
Let me first give hope to Pakistani nation and give a message to our enemy. Pakistan is here to stay. We are a hard country. We are a solid country. Our armed forces are united. And Pakistan is the only country in the region we are actually winning the battle. Biden is losing in Pakistan.
But Mr. Zaid Hamid, is Pakistan going to stay as a headless state or as a strong state?
You see, despite the fact that we have no government in the center, despite the fact that we have institutional clash in Pakistan, despite the fact that we have a collapsing economy and a corrupt, incompetent government in the middle, the fact of the matter is Pakistan stands united today because of the Pakistani armed forces and the ISI. The sacrifices that our armed forces are giving. Iraqi army does not exist. It's crumbling under the pressures which are approaching. Syrian army has crumbled. Libyan army crumbled. Nigerian army control it. Somalian doesn't even exist. Iraqi and Afghan army would crumble once the Americans and NATO leave. It's only the Pakistan army which is keeping Pakistan united and strong and defending. And this is a factor that we are saying. For Pakistanis...
But Mr. Zaid Hamid, you talked about the armies of Pakistan, which stays united. So far, we are seeing it united. And inshallah, we pray that they stay. The leadership, the political leadership, if you observe them, the federal and the provincial governments, why are they in head-to-head wars with each other, even on these Karachi airport attacks as well?
You see, this is the problem, that the leadership is so myopic, so pygmy, so stupid. They can't even tell the difference between a law and order problem, terrorism, or a war on nation. They are still in denial. They can't accept what you just heard from Joe Biden. They can't accept that in Pakistan, the final stages of the war of annihilation has been launched by the enemy. A different story, that they are failing. In Pakistan, we are gaining ground. We have defeated the TTP. They can do explosions. They can attack few airports or few places, but they cannot overrun the country as they are in Iraq right now, or probably overrunning Syria right now. In Pakistan, the fact of the matter is, especially in Karachi, just recently, a couple of days back, Pakistan Army has a very core commanders, formation commanders conference. And in that army was resolute that we are going to take the militants head on, and their bases anywhere in Pakistan will be crushed by force. And Pakistan are going to be very ruthless now. They are going to bypass the government because the government is a bunch of morons. They can't even know what to do with the militants. The army will take the matters into its own hands now. But that is about the tribal
government. Let us see what Rahman Malik has to say about these Karachi attacks and the federal and government sectors.
पे बहुत ही वो नेगेटिविटी लाने की कोशिश की गई, लेकिन हमको बावर कर दूं कि कराची एयरपोर्ट क्या पाकिस्तान के सारे एयरपोर्ट जो हैं वो फुल टेरिटरी डिक्लेयर्ड इलाके हैं। कराची में जितनी मर्जी ऑपरेशंस करते रहे, लेकिन मालाकाट स्वाद सप्लाई हो रही है, या नॉर्थ वजीरिस्तान, साउथ वजीरिस्तान जहां से इनकी सप्लाई हो रही है, या साउथ से यहाँ लश्कर जंग भी बैठा हुआ है, या वो जंग के वो ठिकाने जहां पे आज तक अमल नहीं हुआ। मैं ये समझता हूं कि सारे अमल को रोकने के लिए कार्रवाई नहायत जरूरी होगी। मुज़ाकरात के लिए आगे बढ़ने की गुंजाइश नहीं है। अब एक ही चीज है, वो है ऑपरेशन, और वो है एक्शन अगेंस्ट द टेररिस्ट विद फर्म हैंड।
Yes, Mr. Zaid Hamid, as you saw Rahman Malik saying that all airport security is the responsibility of federal. And we heard Chaudhry Nisar saying that federal informed, the Interior Ministry already informed Sindh on March 23rd about this security lapse. So who is to be blamed too?
The government, the federal and the provincial, the entire political setup, democracy has to be blamed, and the media has to be blamed as well. The fact is that if the provincial government has not responded to the threat alert, why did the government stay silent? But they're blind. Couldn't they see the provincial government has not taken enough security precautions? They're forceful on them. Whatever the federal government wants, they get it achieved. They get it done. When they want it. But why, in this case, when the existential matter of life and death for Pakistan was involved, they was complacent. When they saw the provincial government has not done it, and we know the provincial government is corrupt and involved in terrorism in Karachi. Consists of the political parties who are no terrorist gangs. All the urban war in Karachi is being done by the political government of Sindh. All the component members are involved in having various terrorist gangs on the cities. They're responsible for death and destruction on the streets of Karachi. So how would we expect them to protect Pakistan strategically? And this is what we are saying, especially when they have a track record of sending letters to the British government demanding dismantling of army and ISI. And these are acts of treason, if I properly say that. So the fact of the matter is, this matter cannot be left to the provincial government now. Provincial government of Sindh need to be sacked. Army need to take over Karachi completely. And then the filth. Political governments can't do that.
So, do we see Karachi becoming as Waziristan? Now that North Waziristan does not seem to be as big of a threat as big Karachi seems like.
You see, Karachi is going to be the final battlefield. That is why we said Karachi flows. And that is why we did the assessment that while army is gaining ground in the tribal areas in Balochistan, it is Karachi where army has not gone in. And the terrorists find safe in Karachi under the protection of the political parties there. It is not possible for a terrorist group to have this level of military equipment, training, supplies, and movement within the city, involvement of the local political parties.
What about the Karachi operation that we have been listening that it has entered into its third stage? How come these militants, they can enter at the Karachi airport with this much weaponry? What is that Karachi operation?
You see, Karachi's police is highly politicized. Karachi's police control rooms are controlled by the political parties. Karachi police wireless networks are being by the terrorists. This is why we are saying, without dismantling the political infrastructure in Karachi and handing it over to a select elite team of technocrats handing over of the city by the army, you cannot control this asymmetric urban guerrilla warfare. And these attacks will keep on happening. And the government will keep on blaming each other. But the fact is, it will be Pakistan's law. It's an urban war and has to be dealt on warfare through martial law. Army will have to take over Karachi decisively, remove all the power which is there now, impose its own structure, take charge of it, and then start house to house in every segment of Karachi. It will take long, it will be bloody, it will be dirty, it will be messy, but that's the only way to do it.
Mr. Zaid Hamid, Shahidullah Shahid, the spokesperson of PTP, he gave this statement after the attacks that we are not the Taliban of 2007. Now we are more organized. We have fine quality politicians, legal experts, and people from all good walks of life with us. So we are better organized. How do you see our political leadership at the same time? Have they organized betterly as well in competition with Taliban?
See, Pakistan, unfortunately, in the last 10 years, not a single terrorist has been hanged by the government. Nawaz Sharif government is in place for months. And Pakistan's political government...
Can they see that the ship will sink altogether if this will not be taken care of?
You see, what happens is, can't the government see this? Can't the parliament see this? Can't the media? The way media behaved in this airport attack was actually assisting, was actually giving direct terrorists and the militants that now this level of security has arrived at the airport. Now the army commandos are coming, are approaching from this gate.
And Hamid, we will talk on this aspect of media irresponsible while covering out there in the fields of these attacks after this short break. We'll stay with us. We'll be right back after. Welcome back, viewers. We are talking about airport attacks that happened this week. During these attacks, the role of media is a question mark as well. During these attacks, all channels were trying to prove their efficiency and broadcasting our security plan strategy, which was helping out terrorists in return. How do you see, how the role of the media, and then how government should take action over unprofessional reporting of channels? We would like to know. Mr. Zaid Hamid, during these attacks, as you saw, how media reporting was getting did, and it was done irresponsibly and irresponsibility. And as you said yourself, also they were helping out terrorists by letting out the secret information and the plans to the terrorists. Don't you think that media passed their limits in this field coverage?
Nothing is proven. You see, whenever people say that media is the fourth pillar of the state, I have always been an advocate of the point that our media is actually the fifth column of the enemy, not the fourth pillar of the state. And this point was once again proven when a major national crisis was holding, and the role of media was catastrophic, suicidal actually for the nation. I mean, there were rumors as if there is no tomorrow. I mean, someone was saying to me, 10 terrorists have entered, others said the 30 have gone inside, somebody said the planes are on fire, one media reported that the plane has already been hijacked. I mean, the amount of panic and confusion that they were spreading based on absolutely no information, no reliable information at all, just rumors were being broadcast as breaking news. And
Mr. Zaid, I would like to show you a clip that Interior Minister Nisar has also focused on this part of media coverage. Let's have a look at that and then I will get your comment.
बारे में ये कह दिया, मसलन एक चैनल ने कहा कि 10 नहीं 30 लोग दाखिल हुए हैं। एक चैनल में आया कि 4 जहाज तबाह कर दिए गए हैं। एक ये आया कि नहीं वो जारी है, मतलब ये सुबह 10 बजे 11 बजे 12 बजे भी बातें आती रहीं कि ऑपरेशन है वो खत्म नहीं हुआ। तो हमारी सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज के ये डर था कि इस पे हुकूमत, तमाम हुकूमतें, खा वो सूबाई हैं, वफाक हैं, हमारे मीडिया के दोस्तों के साथ मिलकर एक कोड ऑफ कॉन्डक्ट जरूर होना चाहिए, क्योंकि मेरी ताकत है, मीडिया सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज की ताकत है। और अगर इसमें से भी चैनल्स या मीडिया आउटलेट्स कोई ऐसी खबर दे दें कि पूरे मुल्क में तशवीश हो और उससे बढ़कर दहशतों के हाथ मजबूत हों, तो मेरा ख्याल है कि इसका मदावा होना चाहिए।
Yes, Mr. Zaid Hamid, as you heard Chaudhry Nisar also emphasizing on this aspect of media, that reporting got out of hands during these 2 days of attacks. How do you see this?
we have absolutely now no doubt that Pakistani media is totally able to handle war situations. So either we shut down the media, or how do we regulate them now in the short period of time? Because training would take a it's a long-term process. Basically, what should be done now is the government should make a policy that whenever a crisis is unfolding at any location, media should not be allowed on site. On a distance, there should be a control room should be formed where media should be locked up there, and only selected press briefings from the government or the army or the ISI should be to the media. And then the controlled information will be released to the nation, which will not have disinformation, lies, propaganda, and confusion and panic. And in case of war, this will have to be enforced.
But then, Mr. Zaid Hamid, having said this, that media field report slightly, in fact, a lot of
not
out of
slightly,
control
I mean, catastrophically
during these attacks. At the same time, how do you see the role of media, which brought up the issue of those 7 people that were burned to death inside the cold storage? In that aspect, media did play a role to highlight the issue.
You see, the point is...
But the help that was provided was late still, and saved these lives.
You see, the point is, the people whose loved ones were missing in fire, they called up the media, true, and media could still have played that news without jeopardizing the Pakistan security, and that's what they did later on. But the point is, while the crisis was unfolding, battle was going on, while the militants were inside, while the whole world was looking at Pakistan, the action that was created, that Karachi airport has fallen to the terrorists, was deadly, was dangerous. The terrorists were only confined to a small area. They were isolated, surrounded, and killed. No plane was damaged. No, I mean, Pakistan, all assets were almost secure except for cargo hold, which was set on fire. The fact is, the reporting that was done was dangerous, to say the least. And now, future, this code of conduct should